Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so where do I start? First, how are you guys? What's going on? How are you? If you are enjoying the year, congratulations, because the hot mess we are getting from DC and a lot of our politicians, especially after what happened with Al Green, we still ended up with having 10 Democrats vote for him to like Mm, yeah, it's like I'm gonna make sure I have a list of those 10 people that voted against him, especially. He was a lot of people are, I don't even know. I honestly don't know because after what happened during President Obama's presentation and everything, and people calling him and yelling out liar, nothing happened. And then President Biden, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, the high school dropout and everything like that. It's like they kept, and I'm not putting, like, I know some people need to, different life, different stories, but since she's a heartless, soulless, in my opinion. This is all in my opinion. She's heartless, soulless, evil, conniving, dim-witted, contradicting, just spineless, corrupt. Yeah, I can go on. But they were yelling things, and then it's crazy because Republicans kept lying. We're not going to take your Social Security. We're not going to take disability. We're not going to take things that's great for veterans and people in need. And even over the last couple years, they were doing protests for veterans because Republicans, I repeat, Republicans kept voting away different policies that would help veterans with whether it was their mental health or medications or housing assistance and things like that. And I've shown you guys in a few episodes when Republicans won to take away benefits for veterans. When the Republican men got together, they high-fived each other for taking away things for veterans. But then they keep saying, we love veterans, we care about veterans. It is all a lie. How many times are you going to let them lie to you? And I'm not saying Democrats are perfect, but at least they're not bigots. But there are some bigoted Democrats who vote, I'm not talking about everyday, regular day, But yeah, don't get it twisted. I have come across and I have seen some bigoted Democrats. But I'm talking in Congress, there might be some. But when I'm talking about, there's a difference. There's kind of a difference because when you're celebrating up and down, taking away DEI, and then every time something bad happens, if it's a woman, a person of color, or black, or if they have a disability, it's because of DEI. It's because of DEI. And now a lot of people, a lot of Republicans, a lot of MAGA are celebrating that now. Like people like myself, not only do we have to be 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times better than the rest, but then we have to figure out how to hide our differences. Because a lot of people say, oh, we should just hire off merit. We need to hire. That's not how it goes. And I've told the story kind of, but years ago, when I first graduated college, when I had my bachelor's and stuff, I've told several mini stories on it, but in order for me to finally start getting phone calls and at least some type of opportunity within the employment market, I had to shorten my name. I had to change my name in order to get calls. And then the phone interviews went amazing. They were great. But then as soon as it was face to face, as soon as they saw that I was black, or because they saw how I walk, they no longer wanted me. They no longer wanted me. And so while you guys celebrate, there are people who want to work, because that's the funny thing too. It's like they keep wanting to say black people are lazy. People with disabilities, if you want disability, work 20 hours. Some of us have been trying to work a career job. Some of us have been trying to either start our own business, start something so that we can be independent, so we wouldn't need any of the resources from you guys. But then you keep denying us, you keep taking away from us different tools and necessities that would allow us to be able to be independent. But then you want to say, oh, now we're going to hire off merit. And do you know how many times it's like they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, your resume is perfect. You're amazing. We want you to come in. Once they saw me, you're overqualified. You don't want this job. Why would you want this job? You need to go for another job. You need to do another position. And then I try to go for the higher position. Well, you need management experience, or you need this amount of years and this and this. And so then I would have to go almost to the bottom of the barrel. It's like I worked for at the zoo for the summer, and then to get more experience I became a promotional model. That was a halfway nightmare. I got great experience, but I went through racism, ableism, and literally people hating on me because going through grad school while being a promotional model, people literally hoping that I drop out or I failed. There was one guy who literally, like, he he didn't, like, he was the market manager for this one program, and they were going to need people for another state. But at first, like, people were like, oh my gosh, you have to hire her back. It's like she, like, because I passed my secret shopper thing, and then it's like customers just kept giving me compliments and everything. So there were a couple of my coworkers who were like, oh yeah, use, like, if you guys are going to do the next set, I want to say Indiana or Kentucky, I forgot which one. It was around, like, one of, like, in those areas, whatever. But he was just like, no, she's competition for me. She's getting her degrees. Like, I don't have a degree. So once she gets that degree, she will be too much competition. So on purpose, he crossed me off. And it's like, I had to try out again to get in. The thing is, I got in through another way. And oh, that got on his last nerves, especially when they found out that they wanted me so badly that they rented a car for me. And so but I remember they gave me kind of an address, but the wrong address to the facility, because I didn't know it was going to be paid parking and all of this other stuff. And so I called him because he was the market manager, and on purpose, he gave me the wrong details. But I found out that I knew some other people working the program, and I had to find out through them. And so I'm just saying, like, while people are celebrating the elimination of DEI, there's some of us who busted our butts off and still busting our butts off trying to be independent. It's like went through tons of schooling, went through tons of auditions and like like so many interviews to the point where I'm just like, like, where else am I going to apply? I had to apply for a job that was $12 an hour. That was the real estate job, the one where the brother in law would get so drunk on purpose. It's like, and maybe it wasn't on purpose, but he would get so overly intoxicated that the next morning he did not come to work. So then I, I'm not even a real estate agent and I had to do his job. Yeah. But then people want to keep saying that, like, and the thing is, like, I keep seeing these things, like, probably this in my algorithm or whatever. And part of me is like, perfect, because at least I can show you guys and share with you the proof that is needed. Because a lot of people who say, there's no racism, get over it, or, oh, it's not hard for you to get a job with a disability. A lot of people have the nerve to say that. Or there's like, when people want to hire, they don't care what color you are because you're just going to make them more money if you're like capable or able to do it. And then that, with that interview, you find out that person hired their nephew, their cousin, another family member. Which, speaking of, with DEI and everything like that, when it comes to our president, it's like he hired his sons. He hired his sons. And he was like, did he deserve the position? He won't even allow the colleges to show his grades. He won't. And a lot of us have heard about the bankruptcies, and especially a bankruptcy, a casino. Come on now. And there's so many criminals. Like with him, so many MAGA people. He's not a criminal. He's the next coming of God. He's so great. He's so amazing. He's so. But then criminal after criminal, after so many criminals are around him, are surrounding him. But then they keep saying he can't be. But now he has all these felonies. And he should have had more, but then he got away. Like, part of me just still, But anyway, I still wonder, how did Lauren Boebert get her restaurant? Because, yeah, it's like she she's a high school dropout who had to take the GED test a few times. So, like, yeah, how did she get, who gave her the money for it? Marjorie Taylor Greene, her parents owned a company. It's like, so a lot of these people keep saying merit, merit. But then I keep looking at a lot of these Republican people, a lot of these MAGA people, and then especially our current president is hiring people from Fox News or different Republican outlets, their sons and daughters. Was it off merit? Did they deserve it? And HR wise, did you cast a wide enough net before you hired them? Because how do you know they're the best if you don't do that? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. But oh yeah, yesterday and today, it's like National Oreo Day was yesterday and National Wear a Dress Day, and also Frozen Food Section Day and Dentist Day. So yeah, don't forget, brush your teeth and, make an appointment, see your doctor if that's in your, you know, in medical insurance plan and everything, because we know how America is. Yes. Yes, we do. And to yeah, because National Hospital Day, and today is an interesting mixture too. But yeah, like the hospital thing kind of, it's like one thing I'm going to keep talking about, especially when it comes to the Gray Sheep Society and mental health and things like that. A lot of our doctors need to shrink their egos. They need to shrink their egos because for me to be able to find jobs, it's like there was one job at a university that I taught at for a semester. I was diagnosed, so I was able to put that I have a disability and everything like that. But the dean did not look at the paperwork. He didn't. I think he needed a professor so badly. He didn't look over everything. It's like he's an ableist, but he didn't have enough time to be an ableist because he hired me and I taught 2 classes there. But the first day he saw me and he just looked at me like, because even like over the interview, I was like, well, I need my classes to be on the first story because I have a disability. Oh, no problem. All of our classes, like, we don't have 2-story buildings. All of our classes are on the same story. And so I'm like, oh, okay, very cool. I thought that was perfect. Cool, amazing. But when he saw me, he ignored me for the rest of the semester. Literally, he like, and then he had me have a mentor. His mentor ignored me on other than when he bumped into me on campus. And when I called him and he had to answer because he was in sight, because there were other times where like if when he wasn't in sight I called him, but then next thing I know I bumped into him like 10-15 minutes later and he was like, oh yeah, it's like it must be the signal, it must be the signal. But then during the entire semester, and then different professors telling me to be careful because they said he would mock how I walk at his office. Yeah. But then people keep trying to say, "Oh, I'm so glad DEI is gone. We don't need DEI. Let's hire based off merit." And you have no idea how it is. Like especially the white men, the white able-bodied men. If you have no idea how it is to interview as a person of color, a black person, a person with a disability, and a woman, then maybe you need to stop and be quiet. And I'm able to say this a lot because, especially when it comes to the white men I've dated, I realize like I just watched a documentary. I forgot the name of it. And I'm still watching it too because looking at how the basic white man, like he started off as a basic white man, he was in law school and he met this woman and he seemed so sweet and so nice. And the beginning of the relationship was beautiful. Like she typed up the paperwork or and everything for him and helped him as much as possible with research and things like that. And then all of a sudden he got $1 million like case. And then he started getting more and more cases to the point where they were now rich. And then he started treating her like his enemy. And then he cheated on her with a younger version of her. Like I've talked about this in other episodes, especially when women are stay at home moms. Be careful. Always have a backup plan because you never know when your man is going to want a younger version of you. And or when he first met you, if he saw like, yeah, she's going to help me. She's going to help me get over the hill. But once I'm at the highest peak, I'm no longer going to need her. Because the psychological stuff this man did to her, it reminds me of Mr. No Heart. Actually, oh my gosh, so much I'm going to probably do like an entire like series on it. The more I think about it, because when it came to even money and education and just every time he can put me down or use me, but then whenever he needed me to uplift him or help him, he tried to be the nicest person ever. But then once he got what he wanted, and or once he saw that I was getting a lot from it, and I was even like, oh my gosh, now we can do this, this, and this. Next thing I know, you're not good enough for this. You're not smart enough to this. You're too old for this. You shouldn't be doing that. I can have better ideas than you. It's like, you're not that creative. You're not that great. You're not that good. Like, it was just like one after another, after another, after another. Mm. It's kind of creepy now that I think about it because, well, okay, now I'm gonna say what she ended up doing, but I'm like, don't ever think I'm gonna be that desperate because, like, part of me is just like, me knowing that his mom is so cringe and his mom hates the fact that I exceeded the capabilities and the opportunities that her basic white son will ever achieve, that's enough for me. But I feel bad because the psychology of this woman, he tore her down to the point where she offed him. She eliminated him. He bye bye. He went bye bye. And the more I watch it, I think it's like I feel so much compassion and empathy for her because, like, while watching it, I was like, my ex did this. My ex did that. And he still wants to say he didn't cheat on me, but he cheated on me. And even when his own younger sister said he cheated on me, his own sister. So I want to say it's just in my opinion, but when literally his younger sister and his mother, part of me wonders, did the mother just say that just because she wanted me to break up with him? But at the same time, she was always, you're the best thing that ever happened to him. You're so amazing. You're so great. But she, we all know she didn't want her son dating a black woman, especially a black woman that exceeded everything and anything that this man has ever tried to do other than have children. But then with his children, he called the mistakes at least 8 times. He called his own daughters mistakes at least 8 times. I think once he's a grandfather, that'll change. But yeah, about the only thing he's accomplished that I haven't is having kids. But with those kids, he has said some of the most, like, so he has exceeded, but he hasn't, because when you complain about your children so much and you degrade them so much, and then you say that your kids are half trailer trash because his ex-wife lives in a trailer park, or she did, and so you have the nerve to call your kids half trailer trash and laugh about it. Yeah, yeah. But then they still want like companies and jobs to hire off merit and everything when it's like, and see, it's like, and I'm probably going to be talking about this on and on for so many times because you guys already know about Snodgrass and his grandfather. You found in dating a very great and amazing black woman, but why can't you just settle with a decent white one? That's how America wants us to do. They just want the decent white ones. They don't want anything to do with the hardworking and amazing black women people of color, people with disabilities, they don't want anything to do with us. It's like they say all lives matters, but that's not true. And we have to remember the current president kept saying black jobs. He wouldn't define what black jobs are. But now, but listen to what's going on now. He kept saying black jobs. He kept saying Mexicans are taking black jobs. Wouldn't define it, but now listen and observe of what's going on right now. They're slowly showing us what they think black jobs are and where they think DEI is. And then they are hiring basic white men that are not even they don't even deserve the positions because they don't meet any of the qualifications for those positions whatsoever. And they don't have the experience, the education, or just anything that would give them the merit to be able to hold those positions. The only thing that they have is their white skin and being male. But that's good enough for, you know. And then we recently had a Republican who said that people that work for the government don't deserve their checks. But she didn't do all of her research though, because part of her salary is from the treasury, and the treasury money is from taxes. So part of her money is from our money from, so she doesn't deserve all of her money then. She doesn't deserve part of her paycheck at least then. But she's probably making so many deals with the gun manufacturers and things like that. So it's like she probably doesn't care about that part of her money because she's making so many awful, dirty deals with other people in order to ruin and hurt other people's lives because she cares more about her wallet. She cares more about her wallet than she does other people's lives. And this is in my opinion, of course. All in my opinion. Every episode is my opinion. I slide in evidence and things like that, but it's, based off my opinion. But then she has the nerve to say that they don't deserve their jobs. But then she's also talking about veterans, and they keep saying that they are voting to help, but then they're taking away jobs from veterans. They're taking away health insurance and medical needs and housing programs. And even with one of the items they voted down about veterans, Republicans came together on the floor and high-fived each other. So never tell me that Republicans are there for the veterans, where even a couple years ago, there were protests because Republicans were determined to take more tax dollars away from veterans when it came to their medications, their mental health, and other important needs. And now they say they care about lives, but they don't care if there's sewage in our water. We are about to be they say how rich America is. They say how much money and how prosperous our country is. But we are literally going to run across, the Supreme Court just voted to allow sewage. And so I'm probably going to have another episode on that, but it's just baffling. It's just baffling. Thank you for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. But there got sewage in the water. Are they crazy? I think they're crazy.